Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 8 in season number 8 of the NOFSRL Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. We're here at the Rock. It's the Rockingham Speedway in Rockingham, North Carolina for the Cheerwine 500km race. 62 laps of action around this 1.017 miles speedway. Let me tell you, you're in for a good treat here today because the racing we get here is some of the most interesting racing we get on the entire circuit. But it's going to be better than Martinsville, and hopefully we won't be running out of gas like we did at Texas last week with everybody. So you're in store for a great show, and we got our points leader starting on the pole, and Mark Davidson once again for the second time this year. Going to ask you, Trey, Mark Davidson's been doing a great job this season. What's it going to take for Mark Davidson to get this win here today and extend his points lead here at Rockingham?
Well, like I said in qualifying, just stay consistent throughout this race and the entire season. He's starting on the pole, and positioning during qualifying has a really big factor in this race because tire wear, that's always a big factor here. The tire compound is eaten up by the track surface, so there's not really a whole lot of passing after a couple of laps.
And we'll have to see what Mark Davidson does to keep that track position here today, because those guys behind him are going to be battling very hard for this race lead. And, you know, you might be a little bit wrong about it after a couple laps. I think it's maybe about after 15 or 20 laps we start to see the passing fade away. They are able to race it pretty hard for a little while here, Rockingham, but once it falls off, it falls off. Because at the slowest point from the fastest point, it's about a 2.5 second to 3 second difference in lap times. And this is only a mile-long racetrack, so you're going to need some fresh good years midway through this race to make it to the end. Either way, we mentioned Mark Davidson. He is the points leader coming into the 8th race of the season. 220 points towards the championship for him. However, only 1 point behind him, it's Diego Yepes, the Auto Club winner, has been doing a great job this season for Full Frontal Motorsports. We'll have to see what that 92 can do in this race. I believe he is starting in the top 20. Emily Anderson doing a great job as a rookie this season for EGI. She is only 6 points behind. She finished second at Texas last week after the fuel strategy came into play. She almost got the win. We'll have to see if she gets a win here soon in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Here, Jalarvin Alonso fell back just a little bit. He's only 13 points behind. And Nicholas Samadeo, Mr. Edge, doing a pretty good job so far for Zidell Motorsports. 23 points behind coming into this race here today. It's only 62 laps. It's a very short race, so you got to get up front very fast. It's going to be a one-stop race. Probably going to happen about just past halfway. We shouldn't have any pit issues in this race like we did last year and like we did last week. So should be a good one here today from Rockingham. Mark Davidson on the pole in the number 95, his second pole of the season. Alongside him is the season's 6th winner here from Rockingham, Matt Dallio, in the number 79. The last time he won on Napa Fan was this race 2 years ago. So you betcha he's hungry for another one, driving the number 79. Seth Cole, another great starting position for him for Hamill Racing Enterprises. He's alongside Brad Stover. Haven't seen much of Stover yet this season, but I think he's due for a win here very soon. Uncharted driver Julio Caesar will be starting alongside the Truck Series winner from here back in the fall, John Art in the 05. Lucas Jacobson and Sebastian Cucalon, a couple of rookies in row number 4. It's Ace Garcia and Jonathan Skibnicki in row number 5. Rounding out the entire top 10 here for the Cheerwine 500k. It'll be only 62 laps, so what's your strategy to get up front in this race?
I'd say the strategy is just to run the inside line and just draft off of other cars. We saw a little bit of drafting in qualifying.
Have to see if that comes into play here. Mark Davidson and Matt Dallio on the front row. They're ready to get this one started. Seth Cole and Brad Stover looking to strike as well. The start's where you want to make the pass. We'll have to see what happens here as we go green in the Cheerwine 500k at the Rock. Well, Mark Davidson is going to get the first lap led, but Seth Cole is all behind his back bumper in the number 83. Got that inside lane to work. Matt Dalio fell back to 4th. That outside lane, just not the best place to be. And there goes Seth Cole to the inside. It looks like we had a yellow. Alonso's all torn up in the number 30. And they're going to race back to the line with Mark Davidson out front ahead of the 83 of Seth Cole. Davidson will remain in the lead here at Rockingham.
That's a tough break for Herschel and Alonso.
Oh, a lot of guys. Looks like Trey Bartow got involved in this one. Wyatt Quayle, and a lot of these guys, I think, were in the back of the field. I think Bartow started midway through the field in this one, but it looks like a lot of guys were torn up in this accident, or at least a few of them. Alonso's done. I see damage on Michael Canto's machine. There's Justin Roberts with a lot of damage in the 38. It looks like the only guy that's completely out of the race is Alonso. So, doesn't look like it was too drastically bad, but you see Quayle and Bartow all torn up. Tough break for Bartow. Tough break for Wyatt Quayle. Both of those guys on opposite ends of their seasons, but hate to see them get knocked out early on in a race. Hopefully these guys don't end up a lap down. I think they're just trying to figure out what positions they're going to be in. I think everyone will remain on the lead lap who was not involved in the accident. So let's go ahead, because these guys are not going to come down this early. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the first caution of the day here in the Cheerwine 500k. Well, this was the first lap of the race, and they were 3 wide coming off of turn number 4. You're going to see Michael Canto in the number 12 just get a little bit loose, hit the outside wall. There's not a lot of room here at Rockingham to slide up. He bounced back down into Trey Bartow, then got into Alonso, and Fitzwater was there as well. Canto avoided a major accident, but Bartow comes back up the racetrack in the number 4, gets in the Carter Friesen and Justin Roberts, and they pile in just before turn 1. Stephen Thompson, Andrew Miller back in here. And then right there, Wyatt Quayle runs right in the hair gel Arvin Alonso and sends him upside down. Alonso was doing so well coming into this race. Looks like he's going to drop in the points a little bit after this one here from Rockingham.
As we follow with Trey Bartow coming out of 3 and 4, they're already 3 wide. And Michael Cantor just slides up, hits the outside wall. And then Bartow comes down into Alonso, and then 2 separate wrecks. Wyatt Quayle pile drive the 30 driver's side door. Herschel's going to be feeling that tomorrow. Cars taken out this early, and I definitely feel for these guys. Get taken out in the first lap because of someone else's mistake.
It's just unfortunate, unfortunately. And Andrew Miller got a lot of damage there in the 47. Now, a lot of these guys started deep in the field, so they were already in a bit of a rabbit hole anyway. But Carter Friesen finished 3rd at Texas last week. Ain't going to be 3rd here today, most likely. And Josh Marzak got a piece of that one in the 34. Hasn't been too peachy since he won the Daytona 500 at the beginning of the year. Either way, Wyatt Quayle's going to be done, Bartow's going to be done, and Alonso's going to be done. But I think everybody else might be able to continue in this thing, so we'll have to see how it all goes down. Mark Davidson's still out front. We're going to be single file on the restart, so we might have a long green flag run here, and that's where it gets interesting here at the Rock. So let's see what happens on the restart here in the Cheerwine 500k. We're going to restart on lap 7 here at the Rockingham Speedway. We got 2 laps of green flag racing in, at least for the top 5, and everybody who was not involved in the accident still on the lead lap. Carter Friesen, Trey Bartow, Hergel Arvin Alonso, and Wyatt Quayle all out of the race. Everybody else still on the lead lap. Mark Davidson is the race leader and the points leader, so he's looking pretty solid right now in that number 95 for Tanker Motorsports. Seth Cole is 2nd. Julio Caesar, how about the uncharted driver here? I believe it's only his 2nd race of the season. He's trying to get Zidell Motorsports their first ever win in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Matt Dalio and Brad Stover, the top 5, as we get back to racing here at the Rock on lap 6.
Great launch by the top 3, and they've already pulled away from Matt Dalio, and he's kind of a little bit of an accordion right there. And Daniel McMillan, wait, he's still in 75, right?
Yep, he is, and he's to the inside of Jonathan Skimnicki. He won this race last year, and he's got a good shot at doing it again if the pit strategy works out in his favor later on. We're just going to have to see how it all shakes out. But either way, Seth Cole is finally going to find a way to the inside of Mark Davidson. I don't know if he's going to be able to have the run entering turn number 3. Davidson up high, Seth Cole down low. We'll see if Cole gets it entering 3. Not going to happen. Davidson had the run on the outside, and he's going to remain out front for now, but it's far from over. Seth Cole looking to regain another run on the number 95, and he might get it again here entering turn 1.
A draft on the front straightaway. Here he goes.
And for 3rd, Matt Dalio on Julio Caesar. Dalio might have a pretty fast race car, might have just not got a good jump on the restart, so we're going to have to see what Dalio does in the course of this race. And watch out for Brad Stover as well. He won twice last year, came at Canadian Tire and Nashville. This place is actually kind of similar to Nashville in a way, slightly, and might favor Brad Stover in his driving style here today. Mark Davidson able to pull away from Seth Cole just enough so that he can remain out front, but Seth Cole still getting those runs through the corner, and he might have another shot on getting past the 95 here soon.
A three-car tandem on the inside, and these two drivers, they have tandem draft, and they have pulled away from the rest of this pack. So it just goes to show how effective the draft is here.
Yeah, going side by side at this place really slows you down, because you got to brake check it just a little bit more than what you normally would have if you were going single file. Seth Cole is being extremely diligent right here, staying right behind the 95, looking to wait for the perfect time to pass him. I think Dalio was in a similar situation in Season 6, where he was right behind Driver a majority of the race, but he never made the pass, kind of just waiting to pull away from the rest of the field so he can make the pass, and if he weren't able to make it, didn't have to worry about falling through the field, getting stuck on the outside. Dalio's now closing in on Seth Cole. Brad Stover is running in the 4th position, and Lucas Jacobson to the inside of Julio Cesar for the 5th position. Seth Cole trying to work that inside, but he's not able to close in on Mark Davidson quite yet. Davidson has led every lap so far here at Rockingham.
As you see, as the tires start to get worn out, we're at the 15-lap window of the tire wear starting to go down. So yeah, cars have started to get strung out, and passing's gonna start to become increasingly difficult. As Seth Cole, he's right on his bumper. What does he do here?
It looks like Jacobson's got to run to the inside of Stover. Actually, Stover to the outside of Matt Dalio for the pass. That's a bold one there for the 99, and it looks like he's going to be able to surpass the 79 on the outside lane, or will he? They're still side by side. Seth Cole, I believe he's going to get a run on the outside of Mark Davidson right here. He is to his quarter panel. Will he be able to get the run up top? He's going to get a run, I can tell you that much. This might be the pass for the lead we were waiting for. Side by side on lap 14 at Rockingham. And this is the kind of racing we don't see anywhere else, where they make a move on the outside lane. Looks like Davidson's going to hold on to the inside, though, and keep Seth Cole behind him. But Seth Cole might get a bit of a push here from Matt Dalio, as they're all on each other for the top position. Dalio's now closed in on Seth Cole, and he might now have a say on who gets second place in this race.
And conjuring with what you said earlier on how racing side by side makes you slower, that is exactly what happened. These two, they were battling it out in 3 and 4, and Matt Dalio was like, all right, you guys want to battle side by side? Just going to go up and join y'all.
And now Matt Dalio side by side with Seth Cole. Cole's really working that outside lane very well, and Dalio's not able to clear him through the corner. Looks like Seth Cole might be able to stay ahead of the 79. That's the thing here. The outside lane works very well here at Rockingham. That's why we don't see as much passing as we would see at other racetracks. But either way, it's very possible. Lucas Jacobson got around the 99 of Brad Stover. How about John Arndt? How about Daniel McMillan inside the top 10 now? You know this guy's good here. He won this race last year. Also, Garrett Sonore's in the top 10. Not saying anything about that, but he's doing pretty good there for Dirk Motor Racing. John Arndt and Sebastian Kukulon. Stover and Kukulon's teammate Trey Barnes got knocked out in that accident, but the other two Titan Fury guys doing pretty good right now. But nobody's been able to get around Mark Davidson, but they've been able to stay right behind him. Do you think before the set of pit stops, it's probably going to happen about lap 37, lap 38, which is past halfway? You think someone's going to find a way around Mark Davidson, or will he lead every lap until that green flag run? You know what? This might be the pass right here. Seth Cole to the inside for the race lead. He's got it.
He had a bobble. New leader.
Seth Cole takes it on lap 19 here at Rockingham. That's quite a few laps to lead here at Rockingham for one guy. Mark Davidson able to do it pretty well there, but he finally lost it. Seth Cole, obviously the faster race car, but you got to watch out here for Matt Dalio. He's getting a draft on Seth Cole. He's going to have the inside of Mark Davidson. You're going to want to watch out for Matt Dalio here, possibly taking the lead here soon if he can get around this 95.
Okay, now Blaine Keys. Wait, no, that's not Blaine Keys. No,
that is Lucas Jacobson in the number 64 looking to the inside of the 95. We're not Season 7 anymore. This is Season 8. He's going to push Matt Dalio past Mark Davidson, but he's not going to be able to get around Davidson himself, so Jacobson staying in the 4th position. Stover closing in on him. And now Matt Dalio is going to have his eyes set on the 83 of Seth Cole. Toyota is the only manufacturer that has yet to win a race this season. They're right now 1-2 with the Hamill Racing car of Seth Cole and the Outer Island car of Matt Dalio.
Dalio trying to get to the quarter panel of that 83. He's building up a draft, doing the exact same thing that Cole was doing.
And he might move to the inside during turn 1 here. Not going to make the move quite yet. He's going to be content and stay right behind him. Mark Davidson still in the position. He's running 3rd. Lucas Jacobson, Brad Stover, John Hart, Daniel McMillan, Sebastian Kukalon, Garrett Sonor, and Diego Yepes. I say if you're in the top 10 when the next cycle of pit stops rolls around, you're going to have a shot at the race victory, especially if you come down early. You want to be one of the first guys to come down the pit lane when that green flag cycle comes around. Because if you're not, you're going to fall behind. Lose all that time on those worn tires. Mark Davidson trying to get to the outside of Matt Dalio. Dalio having a little bit of a struggle there on the inside lane. I don't think he has the best race car here, but he's been able to stay inside the top 5. Seth Cole is now pulling away in the 83. If Seth Cole were to win this race here today, it'd be his first career Napa fan win. Surprising, right? He's been around in 2003 longer than some of us have been alive. Not me, but he's been doing this quite a while, and we'll have to see what he can do as this race rolls around. Dalio's back to the outside of Mark Davidson, and this is exactly what Seth Cole wants to see in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, just all these drivers side by side racing with each other, and he's just scooting away.
Looks like Davidson's finally going to get around Dalio. Dalio will clear Brad Stover. All that battling drew in John Hart and Daniel McMillan. And you got to watch out for McMillan in this one because he won this race last year, and you know he's a solid driver. He really does good on the short tracks. His 2 Cup Series wins have come at Bristol and Rockingham, so we'll have to see what McMillan can do as he's pushing the Truck Series winner from here last fall. John Hart right ahead of him. Jacobson falling back in the 64 on the outside lane. Lap 25 of 62. And Dalio is not going to let Davidson pull away with 2nd place. Keep on battling here for 2nd place, and that's going to allow Seth Cole to pull away even more in that number 83. Looks like Dalio's got the run of the inside this time. He's going to have some help from Brad Stover entering the corner, only unless they go 3 wide. Looks like Dalio might get it on the 95. Nope. Davidson gets that run up top, and he's going to stay in 2nd place for now.
Yeah, and Seth Cole, meanwhile, he's scooting away. Again, he's scooting away from these guys. I think he's got a second lead. No, 1.37
seconds. And it's obvious, you know, if you go side by side here at Rockingham, you're just not going to go fast. It's as simple as that. But the thing is, you got to go side by side to pass somebody. Looks like Dalio might get it here on Davidson this time. He's going to have the push from Brad Stover and have the inside entering turn number 1. No, Davidson clears him. And it looks like Stover's going to get to the outside of Matt Dalio, make a position change on him. And McMillan, in all of this, has moved himself into the 5th position. Got to watch out for that 75. He's going really fast, and that hurts Toyota.
Yeah, and they're starting to figure out, hey, we should probably not race each other, and we should catch up to that 83 car. So they're starting to go single file. Actually, nope, never mind. They did not listen at all.
Dalio wants to be the guy that catches up to Seth Cole. They actually closed in about 1/10 of a second that last time, so maybe Seth Cole's tires are starting to wear out. He wore them out quite a bit while these guys might have been saving them that whole time. You know, tire strategy is significant here. I got to tell you, we were talking about the comers and goers in this race. One of those comers right now is this guy, Daniel McMillan. I think he started 13th for this race. Now he's going to the inside for 4th. On Brad Stover. He's got help from John Hart. And this is going to be significant because he's in a position where if he comes down just a couple laps before the race leader, he might come out ahead of the race leader after that cycle of pit stops. And we're closing on halfway, so we get past lap 31 without these guys coming down the pit lane. It means we will not have a guy come down the pit lane just before the finish of the race, like we did last week with half the field. But either way, Davidson able to hold on to 2nd right now. Seth Cole doing a great job holding on to the race lead. And I gotta tell you, it might seem like Seth Cole's gonna run away with this thing, but it's far from over. I don't think you guys understand how significant this cycle of pit stops is going to be, because this is where we really see the comers and goers. Get those fresh tires early on, just a couple laps before everybody else. You're gonna gain about 5 seconds on the race leader if you do that. So you gotta come down early. If Seth Cole is the first guy to come down, I think he's gonna win the race. But if one of these guys comes down even a lap before he does, it's game over for the 83. So These guys are probably thinking about that strategy. You might want to come down right at halfway, possibly. Maybe a couple laps from now, so you know you're going to make it to the end of the race. But you're going to get all that advantage on the other guys and possibly take the race lead once the cycle finishes out. But either way, Seth Cole holding on to a significant lead right now, halfway through the Cheerwine 500k at Rockingham. Mark Davidson holding on to the second position, and you can tell how slow these guys are going. I mean, I'm checking to see if there's a caution coming up because of how slow they're going through the corners. They really hit those brakes through turns 1 and 2.
Definitely, and that just also shows how much the tires have worn out. I definitely would come within the next 5 or 6 laps because these tires are worn out, and you're not really catching anyone. They're kind of staying at the same pace a little bit.
How about Daniel McMillan here? He's still going at a different pace of everybody else. He's now up to 3rd in the 75. How about McMillan clawing his way through the field the way he has?
Yeah, he was definitely saving his tires. He's up to, like I said, he's up to 3rd position, and he's going to try and reel in Mark Davidson before the first set of pit stops. Well, should be on even ground after that.
Dahlia might get a run back to the inside of his teammate, and he will. Davidson's now pulling away for 2nd, and he's closing in a little bit on Seth Cole. Side by side for 3rd between Matt Dahlia and Daniel McMillan. We're at the point of the race where the tire wear is so significant that going side by side doesn't even slow you down. It's because you're going so slow to begin with. But either way, Seth Cole holding on to a significant lead. He might get the extra bonus point for leading the most laps in this race. He passed Mark Davidson. What lap was it? It was lap number 19. So if he leads up to lap 40, he's going to probably get that extra bonus point. We'll have to see how it all plays out. McMillan got shuffled out of line. He's going to get stuck on the outside lane here as John Hart, Brad Stover moved to the inside of him. Lucas Jacobson, Diego Yepes is here. And Emily Anderson back inside the top 10 here at Rockingham. She's been putting together these top 10 finishes week after week, just like Elijah Gore did in the Chase last year. She's been doing an impressive job this season here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, and I wouldn't be surprised if she got a race win here very soon.
Definitely, she's got a lot of talent in that car. She's definitely got a great mentor, 2-time champion Elijah Gordon mentoring her. I harness that talent, and then she's definitely going to go places in this series.
And her teammate, John Hart, was brought in at the end of last season. Well, Matt Dahlia made a pass from the outside of Mark Davidson, or at least is trying to. Got a run entering turn number 1, but her teammate's doing a lot better in this race than she is because, well, he's in the top 5. And great run for John Hart. This is one of his better racetracks. Like I said, won the truck race here in the fall. He's going to be passed there by Brad Stover. Watch out for McMillan to close back in on these guys. McMillan was at one point 3rd. He's now in the 6th position. Looks like Dahlia might get that run on the outside and possibly clear Davidson here. We're going to have to see. Davidson holding on to that inside, but this is going to get a little bit easier for Seth Cole here, and you're going to be closing in here on the pit window. Fuel window's going to be here very soon. Seth Cole looks like he is going to... You know, they go so slow for that corner, it seems like they're coming down. But they're not. And they're still out there holding on to these tires for now, but I'm sure all these guys want some fresh Goodyears because this is as worse as it's going to get this entire race. 40 laps into a run, and the next run's only going to be about 20 laps long, so it's about as worse as it's going to get. They're going to feel really good when they get those new Goodyears on their race cars.
I'm definitely surprised I haven't come down yet. Like the pace, it's like really slow. It's like they've got restrictor plates in these cars, to be honest.
It's Brad Stover for 2nd. See if anybody's coming down. They usually start coming down in the back of the field here at Rockingham, so we're going to check for that. Stephen Thompson's down, Justin Roberts is down, and I think those are scheduled pit stops, so we should be seeing these guys coming down here very soon. And Seth Cole, if I'm Seth Cole, I'm coming down right now. But I'm not. Brad Stover's going to have a huge advantage. He, along with Garrett Zenor, coming down the pit lane. Jesse Turner, Julio Caesar, Nathan Baird. Well, let's hope we get through this cycle of pit stops without a caution coming up, because that's when it gets really hairy. We're going to watch out for Seth Cole here. Coming to 20 laps to go in the Cheerwine 500k. I told you guys it was going to be a fast race. Only about 25 minutes into this video, and we're 2/3 of the way through the event here. Seth Cole staying out again. I don't know what he's saying, but all these guys are coming down now. They're going to have a shot at closing in on Seth Cole. Emily Anderson staying out, and Matthew Phillips is staying out. That's something Matthew Phillips wished he did at Texas last week because he was leading when he came down the pit lane with 3 laps to go. but not that situation anymore for him. Everybody else coming down the pit lane right here. And here is Seth Cole. Should expect him to come down this time. Emily Anderson as well.
Yes, he is.
And I would definitely look for Brad Stover, because you look at where he is right now. You know, Garrett Senore's not too far behind him. If, you know, Garrett Senore tuned his race car well and Brad Stover did not, Senore might have a shot here, but, you know, Brad Stover's going to unlap himself right here. As he comes around this time by, Seth Cole's yet to make his pit stall. And he's going to have some guys who are coming out ahead of him here. This is going to get a little interesting on the 83. If I can get to him here, he's going to have to slow down a little bit. Going to avoid contact, thankfully, but he might have gotten slowed up a little bit on the pit lane because of that. Here are all these guys coming off. And I think... Oh my goodness, Brad Stover. Look at what he did. I think he ended up beating the field like crazy here. Let me see. Yeah, he's third right now. Josh Marzak is going to be second after all this. And Garrett Senore, Jesse Turner got great runs as well. And look at that. You know, that's 2 laps at Rockingham. And look at all the time that Seth Cole lost. Absolutely unbelievable. But I'm getting a little anxious now. You got Brad Stover leading, but you got a guy who hasn't won in this series in over 3 years running second. Do you think Senore's going to have any chance at closing in on Brad Stover before the end of this race?
Well, they've definitely got new sticker tires, and they're running single file. I definitely think that Senore will probably, he's got Jesse Turner on his back bumper, so a little bit, I definitely think they can catch up.
Turner's going to try to pass him, and they are not closing in, so this is looking great for Brad Stover in the number 99, and he was the first guy to come down that pit lane. And you see just how big it is to do so. Now, what Garrett Senore and Jesse Turner are hoping to see is a caution. So if they get a caution, they're going to be right behind Brad Stover on the restart, but the way it's looking right now, I don't think we're going to get one. They seem to be racing rather cleanly here. Marzak's going to come down. He had yet to make his second stop. He did come down when those pit stops were, or when that crash occurred. But that's been the only caution of the day so far. And look at Brad Stover now, 3 seconds on the rest of the field. How about the Titan Fury Motorsports driver of Brad Stover?
He definitely played that he played that strategy like a basketball game. Just absolute perfect bullseye. Other sports perfection cliche you can add. That was perfect strategy by that 99 team.
You can thank his crew chief for that call. I mean, that's what you got to do here, Rockingham. The tire wear here is so bad that you got to be in before everybody else to get an advantage. And you saw what happened to Seth Cole. He's now 10th in the 83. And he had about a 2-second lead when that cycle began as well. And now he's 6 seconds behind Brad Stover. So he lost 8 seconds during that green flag cycle. 8 seconds. But how about Brad Stover coming out of nowhere, essentially, to get to the race lead here? And the way it's looking, I do not think that Senore and Turner are going to have a way to close in on him. Now, you know, Stover could fall off in these last 13 laps, but I doubt that's going to happen. I think these guys are just a little bit slower than 99.
Yeah, he's definitely pulling away. He's at 3.5 seconds, and he's right behind the speedy car, Cody Sill, I believe that is.
Yep, number 37. Cody Sill is on the tail end of the lead lap in 36. We still have 36 guys on the lead lap here at Rockingham, so quite a few guys. We'll see if the differential changed at all. And it just keeps on going like 0.3 of a second every lap. Brad Stover is 0.3 of a second faster every lap than Garrett Senore is. Absolutely unbelievable the pace that Brad Stover is putting together right now in the number 99, but it is working out for him. And if Brad Stover were to win this race, he would be the first winner this season to have won a race this season, or, yeah, of course, and who have won a race in season number 7. And the way it's looking right now, that's going to be the case. Now, 4.2 seconds for Brad Stover. He is lights out right now, that number 99 machine.
Yeah, he's just running that inside line coming off of 4. Let's see what the differential is on this lap. It's probably going to keep growing.
Senore is pulling away slightly from Turner, but he just doesn't have the horsepower on that thing to catch up to the... Ooh, that got a little interesting right there. He closed in. You know, what Senore needs is to pull away from Turner and everybody behind him. I think they were slowing him down a little bit. You know, Stover has Cody Sill ahead of him, but Sill's, you know, not really a problem. He's going to have to let Marzak by. I think Marzak has his fresher tires, and he might drive right by the 16. We'll see what the differential is this time. Oh boy, you know, it's just like it was in Martinsville. He's second, you're right there, but you just can't get the lead. Garrett Sonor has been doing a great job so far this season. Might be getting a bit of a push here from Josh Marzak. We'll see if that helps him. He's got to let Marzak go by on a straightaway, because if he tries to do it through the corner, it's not going to turn out too well for him, but he's going to keep Marzak behind him.
Another 10th a second off.
3.72. I just don't think that's going to be enough. He's not going to have enough time to close in, only unless something drastic happens. Stover pulled away so much that he just could not get to him.
Yeah, too bad this wasn't 2 seasons ago when this race was 80 laps, or else that'd definitely be a pretty interesting finish we have in store.
Well, the thing is, if it were an 80-lap race, you'd probably have guys coming down the pit lane right at the end, so...
Right.
Sonor's probably thankful. All these guys are probably thankful that they don't have to come back down again, but it's got to be frustrating if you're Garrett Sonor, Jesse Turner, those guys, you know, you're right there. You're right in the top 5, but there's just no way you're going to get to this guy. Brad Stover lighting it up here at Rockingham. If he were to get the win, it'd be his 3rd career Chick-Fil-A Cup Series race victory. And the way it's looking like he's going to get it here today in the Cheerwine 500k. It was another 2 tenths right there, but it's just too little too late. I mean, 6 laps to go. It's not going to be enough time if you're only catching up 2 tenths each lap. It's going to take a major slip-up by Brad Stover for the number 16 to really get to him. And Marzak has been doing a great job staying out of the way and just staying right behind Sonor here, so you got to give him some credit for, you know, kind of helping the 16 here, but it's just not enough. Only 1/100th that time. Brad Stover looking like he is going to get it here at the Rock.
He's definitely checked out at this point.
So it turned out a little bit different than last year's race, but it still was interesting on that set of pit stops. A lot calmer than a lot of the other races we've seen this year, but sure Brad Stover's pretty happy about this one, the way it's going. Garrett Sonor is simply not going to have enough time in this race to close in on the 99. If we were to get a caution now, the race would be over anyway, so Sonor's just got to hope that Brad Stover has an issue, he blows an engine or something if he's going to have any shot at race victory here today. How about Jesse Turner running 3rd? Great run for him. We're talking about the other 2 Outer Island guys, McMillan and Dahlia. Well, they really fell off. 15th and 16th. John Arndt's here, and, you know, Mark Davidson's going to get a good run nonetheless. Top 5 for him. Number 10, Julio Caesar, great run. Seth Cole has moved his way up to 8th. And Nathan Barrett's here. Silas Orta and Lucas Jacobson looking to be the top 10 here today. It looks like Turner is going to get to the inside of Marzak. That's it right there. If you go side by side, you're done. And Sonor side by side with Marzak. Marzak's going to drive right by him, I think. And he will.
Got the run on the outside, got a couple lap fresher tires. Meanwhile, that 99, he's going through the corner, coming to the white flag.
White flag for Brad Stover at Rockingham. Turned out to be a great day for Titan Fury Motorsports, and perfect pit strategy for Brad Stover, looking like he's going to get his 3rd career Chick-Fil-A Cup Series race victory here today. And he's not going to have any contest either. Brad Stover is going to become the first Season 7 winner, the winner race in Season 8. He's going to come out of the final corner, and Brad Stover is going to win the Cheerwine 500k here at Rockingham.
That's
another runner-up for Garrett Sonor, Jesse Turner, John Arndt, Mark Davidson will remain in the points lead after he gets another top 5 run here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. The final differential was 2.93 seconds, so in those final 10 laps, Sonor did close in a 2nd. But it just wasn't enough to close in on Brad Stover for the race victory here at the Rock, and Stover gets it done in what has so far been the shortest race of the season. Only 1 caution. It went by rather quickly. I bet you Brad Stover's pretty happy about that one. Played the pit strategy perfectly, and he's going to get the race win here in the 8th race of the season.
Yeah, and that was a really good race. Again, really great pit strategy. Hats off to the guys on top of that 99 box, and in a way, partial redemption for Jesse Turner. He was in a position to win the race last season, or at least have a good finish, and he had that incident with his podium finish today, partial redemption. Still a really good points day for that 77 team.
Absolutely, and that's what guys like Turner needs. You know, John Arndt as well. They're deep in the points coming into this thing, and those runs are definitely going to help them out as the season goes along. Probably wasn't the race we were expecting here today, but I'm still happy we didn't have, a huge crash fest. All these guys coming down the pit lane at the end. It's good to have a calm race like this every once in a while, where there still is some passing. We had a couple lead changes in this race, 3 different leaders, and Brad Stover gets it done for Titan Fury Motorsports. Ahead of Garrett Sonor, Jesse Turner, John Hart, Mark Davidson, Seth Cole, Julio Caesar, Nathan Barrett, Sal Lasorda, and Lucas Jacobs in the top 10 here today in the Cheerwine 500k. Take a look at the rest of the results over there. We had that big accident at the beginning of the race between Carter Fries and Trey Bartow, Alonso, and Wyatt Quayle. I know Zachary Fitzwater was a guy who was involved in that. He ended up finishing 24th, which isn't too bad considering he was involved in that accident. And you see other guys like Matthew Phillips, Riley Sprilly, and Josh Marzek all finishing a lap down or more. But either way, that was a pretty interesting race. Probably going to be one of the calmest races of the year, we'll say. So, Brad Stover got an easy one here, so that's going to help him out on the points. Next week, it's Richmond. Your driver won there in Season 6. What do you expect in that race next week? Going to be similar to this one where it's a little bit calm, or do you think it's going to get a little wild there in the Norfolk Southern 400?
I know in the race that I won, my driver Al Lagasse won a couple years back. That was definitely a wild race. We saw a little bit of a controversy with Caleb Hoffman getting wrecked out in the lead under caution. What happened in last year's race, I believe it was a little bit of a mix. I'm not entirely sure, so I'd say definitely we got the field, and they haven't really raced, because Richmond, it is the ideal NASCAR track, but it is definitely one of the more fun places to watch your ideal Saturday night short track event. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's going to be Friday night. Next Friday night right here on AppFM, the Norfolk Southern 400 from Richmond. And then we're going to take the Easter weekend off, and then it's going to be Talladega. I don't need to explain that one. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Brad Stover on his race victory here today at Rockingham. Yeah, that's it for me. So have a great weekend. It'll be at Bristol in real life. It's the first weekend where we're not at the real life racetrack, and should be fun tomorrow. It just should be. So yeah, that's all I have from the Rockingham Speedway. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Brad Stover. Here are the point standings for the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series after 8 races. On behalf of Trey Wright, I will see you guys later.
First time, 'cause your voice brought me to life. You replaced all the silence when your love made me alive. You're pulling on my heartstrings, pulling on my heartstrings. You're pulling on my heartstrings, pulling on my heartstrings. Teach me now your harmony, 'cause I only wanna sing with you. Beautiful melodies just between me and you. Your song is playing in my heart. It's getting stronger. A symphony among the stars. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. You are my heartbeat forever, my love song forever. You are my heartbeat forever, my love song forever. You are my heartbeat.